Hello, everybody. This is my rant about Murder by the Numbers, a movie by Barbet Schroeder. So, Murder by the Numbers is a film made in 2002, which is a psychological thriller, but also can be described as crime media and kind of a forensics thing. It's basically, to sum up the plot without spoiling too much, is in which a seasoned homicide detective and her rookie partner, which Cassie Mayweather and Sam, I don't remember his last name, investigate a murder that links to two brilliant high school students obsessed with executing the perfect crime, which they basically wanted to leave no incriminating evidence and basically have whoever was the detective to lead them on a cat and mouse chase. Combining crime procedural evidence, like study of arrogance, manipulation, and cat-and-mouse tension, the film offers solid performances, especially from Sandra Bullock and a young Ryan Gosling, though critics note its predictability limits suspense, which, obviously, I don't give a fuck about what the critics say. We all know me. I think the reason why I really do typically enjoy this movie so much is I think the plot is fantastic. It's a very nice plot. At the start I was like, oh, there's a lot of plot holes. This is kind of goofy. What's up with that? But then I realized, never mind. This all ties itself in together at the end, and I like it. Another thing is I really like Richard and Justin's dynamic. Richard Haywood and Justin Pendleton are high school classmates. So, Richard is the cocky, wealthy, and popular extrovert, while Justin is more of an introverted but very smart loner. They seem to be enemies at school, but they're actually secretly very close friends. After months of planning a quote-unquote perfect crime, the duo abduct a woman at random, strangle her, and plant evidence incriminating Richard's marijuana dealer / school janitor, Ray Feathers. The thing is, they are heavily implied to be queer. It is heavily implied. Everybody says they are not gay, but I'm telling you, if you look it up, they're heavily implied to be queer, which is really funny. It's really silly. And Cassie Mayweather and her partner, Sam Kennedy, they are the ones investigating the murder. For some odd reason, she kind of, seduces him. But for some odd reason, will not let her see her chest. Which, obviously, no one thinks anything of that, because it's oh, whatever. Maybe she just is insecure about her chest. Ho, ho, ho. Footprints at the crime scene lead to Richard's boots, but vomit nearby implicates Justin. Because you can trace back what somebody ate, and then if it's a specific thing, you can go to that specific restaurant, and in this case, Justin had caviar. For some fucking reason. Anyways, both of them have alibis and deny knowing each other, but Cassie is disgustingly obsessed with the fact that they definitely did it. So, Sam is like, dude, I think you're dragging it, because we've already confirmed that it isn't this guy, these two kids. And so, Cassie's boss is just like, dude, Richard's parents will beat our ass. Lock in. So they take Cassie off of the lead for the case. Richard ends up killing Ray, which making it appears to be a suicide. Sam, following the planted evidence, tracks down Ray. But when he actually finds him dead, and the woman's murder appears solved, Sam is finally convinced by Cassie that she might be right, so he does continue the investigation. Justin, who has a crush on classmate Lisa Mills, finally works up the courage to ask her out. First, a jealous Richard seduces Lisa, videoing them having sex, and then gives Justin a coffee. I think this scene is my favorite. Mainly because it just shows how queer these idiots are. Because what do you mean you're so jealous of your friend, I say in quotation marks, having a girlfriend, that you record yourself having sex with her girlfriend to show it to her? And he does this whole silly speech. They're just gay as hell, okay? Justin is pissed off, but obviously he gets control back over so that he can, knowing the police are still watching them. Cassie begins receiving calls from her ex-husband, Carl Hudson, who went to prison by stabbing her in the chest 17 times. We actually see this because when she goes to investigate the crime scene, she gets flashbacks to her own crime scene. She was the one dead at the crime scene. His parole hearing is coming up, and he wants her to speak on his behalf. So, Cassie confides into Sam. Although she became a cop to prove herself that she was not a victim, she is terrified of seeing Carl again. She also confesses that Richard reminds her of Carl, which is why she's convinced of Richard's guilt and obsessed with proving it. So, Sam and Cassie bring Richard and Justin for separate interrogations or whatever, trying to induce them into implicating each other, but neither of them talks until they're both released. At the victim's home, Cassie determines how the boys carried out the abduction and altered the physical evidence. Richard, knowing Cassie is closing in on them, has basically made a plea bargain with the DA and flees to an abandoned house. He convinces Justin to join him there, then produces 2 revolvers, posing a mutual suicide, which in the beginning, we can actually see that scene, which is where they're saying a pact, which I think is really cool. With their eyes closed, on the count of 3, Justin shoots the air. Richard does not, because Richard's gun is not loaded, in which Justin is like, yo, fucking show me your gun. A furious Justin is about to shoot Richard, and Cassie arrives, because before this scene, Justin was at Lisa's house, so Lisa called her up. Richard grabs Justin's gun and shoots at Cassie, wounding Justin, who tries to protect her instead. She goes after Richard, but he fails to strangle her on a rickety deck jutting out over a cliff. Cassie manages to grab the upper hand, and boop! Richard kind of dies and falls off the cliff. But, you'd never guess that it was all kind of Justin's fault. Justin was the one who killed the lady because of the marks on on Richard's ring. So, sorry if you can hear me like reading off of something. I'm reading off of a script I wrote. So I think this movie just has a really good plot, and I personally can't explain it myself because I am a little biased, but I personally think you should go watch it if you really like forensic stuff and crime scene investigation and all that. Obviously, I'm a big fan of it because I'm a big fan of that. Alright, yap over. Orion out!